Okay, so we're gonna talk about this API flaw. It's wild, bro. Like, oh my god, it's wild. I can't wait to show you guys. I'm kind of tripping, bro. I'm kind of tripping off this. Holy shit, yeah, I'm kind of tripping off this, bro. Like, the UK and the US are basically accusing China of some very, very serious shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's heating up, bro. It's heating up. The geopolitical clusterfuck is heating up. All right, let's run it. Oh, thank you for the follows on Twitter and Blue Sky, everybody. Thank you so much.
API flaw in QuickBlocks framework exposed PI of millions of users.
It's pretty wild, dude.
QuickBlocks
I might build your keyboard
SDK
today,
and
too, by the way.
API vulnerabilities infect chat and video applications used by industries including telemedicine, smart and finance. Research into the widely used QuickBlocks SDK and API led to the discovery of critical vulnerabilities built into chat and video applications used by industries including telemedicine, smart and finance. The researchers from Clarothy Team 82 and Checkpoint Research (CPR) developed POC exploits demonstrating that these vulnerabilities threatened the personal information of millions of users.
I've worked with this team before. This is an Israeli team. They're pretty good at what they do. I had to work with them because of work. You know, you guys know how I feel about illegal apartheid states. But I had to work with these guys because of a thing. It was pretty interesting. If you want to learn more about what I worked on with these guys, look up URL confusion. Look up URL confusion, and you'll see exactly the work that I was working on with this team. Free Palestine for real. Here's the thing. I've worked for a lot of Israeli companies, you know what I mean? And it's like, sometimes you join a company, you don't even know that they come from Israel, and then they move to the US, and then they register in the US so they can get a ton of benefits, but they're actually Israeli, and they're actually funneling information back to Israel. Like, they all do that. I'm just going to tell you the truth. They all do that. They just funnel information back. There's an information sharing thing. Even if they come here and they establish themselves as a U.S. company after, you know, operating in Israel for years, and they come and establish themselves in the U.S., they're still sending information back to Israel. Okay, let's run it.
The researchers from Clarothy Team 82 and Checkpoint, they found they could access smart intercoms and remotely open doors, or leak patient data from telemedicine applications.
I tell you guys, I give it to you guys straight. Basically, the US does this too. China does this too. Every country does this too.
Developers using the QuickBlocks framework must first create a QuickBlocks account. This provides the credentials that will be used for the application, and a QB token that is used in further API requests.
As somebody who's worked at a social media company, I can confirm that, federal agents will put in tickets asking for certain information, and you have to comply.
When the application retrieves the QB token, users log in with both the application session and user credentials. However, the process requires the user to know the application credentials, which are usually simply inserted into the application and easily extracted by attackers.
Yeah, I mean, how are they loaded in? Are they encrypted? Can you retrieve them through memory?
Turning to the API, we discovered a few critical vulnerabilities in the QuickBlocks API that could allow attackers to leak the user database from many popular applications, report the researchers. They found that anyone with an application-level session could obtain a list of users, retrieve PI, and generate multiple attacker-controlled accounts. Through Google Dorking and search engines such as Bivigil, the researchers then located dozens of other applications using the same QuickBlocks framework and subject to the same vulnerability.
Google Dorking is great, guys. I've been able to find all sorts of. Okay, I'll explain one project that I worked on for one company. Basically, there's a company, and they didn't want certain things indexed on the internet based off of, it was a user that has a lot of it was a company that has a lot of user-generated content, and they didn't want certain things indexed on the internet. So I ran Google Dorking to, maybe get, the site value. Okay, here, let me just show you guys what Google Dorking is. You guys are probably like, what? So Google Dorking, right? Look at this. You could basically say site, right? In URL, site, right? You could basically have all these little commands, right? So in URL, this is only going to find things in the URL with view SHTML. So if you can come up with certain identifiers of things that you were looking for, right? Whether that's, in my case, I wanted to take things off of Google. I wanted to submit them through the Google console, the Google search console, and say, take these things down. Do not index these things. Or you could also just find shit for malicious reasons, right? If you're a red teamer, if you're a bug bounty hunter, you could find things using Google Dork. So if I wanted to find all the PDFs related to an organization that I was doing, this is a real life example. There's another organization I was doing a penetration test of. I wanted to do as much recon as possible. I looked for certain file types, XMLs. I looked for PDF files. I looked for JPEGs that they had hosted on their computer and that they had hosted on their servers, right? That they were like displaying to the world. I downloaded all of those programmatically after I did my Google Dork. I ran through all of them using XFTool and other tools so I could find all the information in the PDF, who made it, what directory, what time. And I was able to use that to, supplement my attack on the organization. So it's a finer-grained robot TXT. Google Dorking is just a way to search Google using like syntax that allows you to give it rules. Robots TXT, like the first example I explained, kind of because I was doing the Google Search Console, right? So Google Search Console. This is a Google Search Console, right? So if I hit Google Search Console and I was like doing Google Analytics, which this isn't server side. No. This was me writing stuff. Me writing Google Dorks, running them programmatically. I used this. I used Go Dork, and I made a variant of it. I made like a variant of it that worked. That was a little more reduced for my needs, and I was basically able to do my Google Dorks through a command line, and then send them to the Google Search Console using an API key, and then saying, "Hey, don't index these anymore." And then Google Search Console was like, "You got it, boss," So, yeah, that's kind of how that works. Okay. So, yeah, basically, just by doing some dorking, just by looking around, right? Once you identify this vulnerability, once you find heuristics, like let's say, if a service responds in a certain way, I can tell that it's using Postgres version 3.4, whatever the fuck, right? So, it's called fingerprinting. So they did some fingerprinting, right? So they found this vulnerability. Then they did some fingerprinting to figure out how many of these are open, how many of these are available, how many of these are out there, and then extracting the key. I want to know about this.
Extracting the keys was more difficult in some applications than others through encryption or code obfuscation.
That's
But
what I
the
want to know about.
researchers assert developers can only put in obstacles to complicate recovering the application key, which will always be accessible to attackers, whether it takes 5 minutes to extract or 2 hours. The researchers examined how their discoveries could be
Hold
used.
up. So what we call this usually is security through obscurity, right? Basically, they're hoping that you don't look hard enough. They're hoping that you are deterred by, the small hurdles that they put in the way. It is not the case. Hackers are infinitely creative and extremely determined.
The researchers examined how their discoveries could be used against different
Thank you, Buffy,
applications
for
that
liking the tweets and
incorporated
looks
quick
and
blocks.
Brumbo.
They
Thank you.
provide a case study on Roscom and Israel. The researchers examined how their discoveries could be used against different applications that incorporated quick blocks. They provide a case study on Roscom, an Israel-based provider of video intercoms for building entry. Separately investigating the Roscom mobile app, they found additional vulnerabilities and discovered that user IDs were produced by concatenating an individual building ID and the user's telephone number.
That's fucking terrible.
Turning back to their quick blocks vulnerabilities, the researchers noted, Roscom chose to use the user ID, the concatenation, as the user identifier in quick blocks. And since we could leak the user database from quick blocks, we could get access to all of Roscom users, including building IDs as well as the correlating users' phone numbers.
Put that together, you got the ID.
Knowing the building ID and the user phone number ultimately allowed the researchers to impersonate a legitimate user. They had also found they could obtain the
Fucking
user's
hell, bro.
authorization code. This means,
Put on some songs,
explained
guys.
the researchers, the only requirement to retrieve a user's credentials is their phone number, which we managed to leak using the quick blocks vulnerability. Moreover,
Fuck.
the authentication code is static. Therefore, attackers can easily log in on behalf of any user and use the application's functionality to its extent.
Bruh.
This allows them to open the door gate,
Yeah.
open video streams and more. They now fully control the
Holy
intercom
shit.
device remotely. Using the same
Okay, Roscom Cloud, Roscom mobile app, building with tenants, building ID, user ID. That's the phone number slapped with a building ID on the end. So then they're ultimately able to authenticate as a user and open the fucking door.
Using the same approach on a telemedicine app, unnamed, because at the time of writing it was still vulnerable. The researchers discovered they could use the Quick Blocks vulnerability to log in on behalf of any user, whether patient or doctor. They found they were able to retrieve personal information including medical history, chat history, and medical files. Furthermore, warned the researchers, because full impersonation is possible by this attack, anyone can impersonate a doctor and modify information or even communicate in real time via chat and video with anyone can impersonate a doctor and
Dude, impersonate a doctor, modify information, like talk to the victims, talk to the patient, right? On behalf of actual physicians, I'd be like, hey bro, you want to send me $1,000 in Monero real quick? No, okay.
This joint research into Quick Blocks demonstrates the potential scale of the threat from API flaws, especially where the flaw is in a framework used by multiple vendors and multiple applications. In this instance, the researchers worked closely with Quick Blocks. Quick Blocks has fixed the vulnerabilities via a new secure architecture design and new API. Security, however, doesn't simply depend upon vendors' fixes. The telemedicine application was still vulnerable at the time of writing because the developer hadn't incorporated the vendor's fixes.
All right. Well, this is definitely not great. It seems like this is pretty widespread. I don't know particularly any companies using this framework off the top of my head, but I'm sure they are plentiful. This is sad. It is sad. A ton of people having their information leaked, a ton of people made insecure. Who knows what's going on with the telemedicine thing? It sounds like they haven't even updated it. Cool. Nice, bro. So, we'll say Quick Blocks is used to, I guess it's like used mostly, it looks for like authentication to databases, right? But like basically it's like a chat and video conferencing tool, right? So is used to integrate here, let's say integrate chat and, but the database flaw seems to be the damning thing here. Chat and video, is used to, into products by providing a simple to use API. Does Grammarly really want me to do this? Here, let's give them their U. Quick Blocks integrates chat and video into products by providing a simple to use API. Unfortunately, it seems that attackers can extract credentials and leak the contents of let's say applications using the Quick Blocks suite. Let's say this PII includes, or no, this, here, let's see. Let me think. What are we going to say? Let's get rid of this. Unfortunately, attackers can extract credentials and leak the contents of applications using the Quick Blocks suite. There are already a few companies that are, the researchers discovered a couple of companies here we go. We're just going to leave this. We're going to leave it like this. I think this is good enough. Bam, send tweet. Couple potential victims. These companies, flug them. Honestly, the only thing that I don't like about like companies getting clamped up, I do not give a fuck. People being put in harm's way, I give a big fuck. You know what I mean? I give a big fuck. Therefore, we tag the companies.